The next session is taking a look at Snapshot. So this is one of those features, again, that anyone who's a full user in Laserfiche will have access to Snapshot. And it's a plugin that gets automatically installed. If you are an Avante or Rio user, it is bundled in. You absolutely have it. If you had Laserfiche for a very, very long time, it is possible that Snapshot is not there, but it's almost guaranteed that it is. So what is Snapshot exactly? That's really where we want to start. What do we do with it? Well, it is something that allows you to print anything to Laserfiche. So if you have Adobe Distiller on your computer where you generate PDFs by printing to it, it's largely the same thing, except it's completely tied to the Laserfiche application. So you'd be able to generate maps, you could generate emails, you'd be able to generate photos, web pages. You might want to be able to print a web page confirmation of some type directly to Laserfiche without having to print it first. So in our workshop, we talked about, definitely don't want to print emails and then have to go scan them again. This is another example of you just don't want to print all this stuff in order to scan it. So being able to take this and just print directly to Laserfiche is a great way to make everything searchable in Laserfiche, and possibly you might have older documents that already are in Laserfiche or were generated as a PDF without a searchable layer. By putting that into Laserfiche, it will run the generate pages and OCR those documents for you. So old documents, legacy documents can be made searchable as well. So let's see, what else? Maybe maps in a DWG format, so proprietary AutoCAD drawings. You might want to make those a TIFF image that everybody can search and view online. That's an easy way to convert it. Now, what if you have some of the older documents like WordStar and VisiCalc and all of these? I still get questions about this. So honestly, it's probably 20 years since anybody used VisiCalc, I believe, or WordStar, but I still get questions about that because you might have old legacy documents on a floppy disk and you say, well, we'd like to get those in there just for long-term storage, but we can't open them because they're in a proprietary WordStar format and you have to go buy some other plug-in off the internet to try to convert them or something. But the point being that if you don't have the program to open the file on the computer where Laserfiche is, then it won't be able to read that file and it won't be able to generate a TIFF image that can be OCR'd. So hopefully that makes sense. If you don't have VisiCalc, you can't open it to snapshot it and make it OCRable. But if you have the application, you can easily open it, make that TIFF image, and so on. So anything that's that you think would be useful to be OCR'd and get out of that proprietary format, Snapshot is a great way to do it. And so the next question is, where is Snapshot? Where exactly do I find it on my computer? You find it as a printer. No big surprise there. So along with all of your other printers and all of your other distilling type programs, you're going to find it right there under the print option. So you choose Laserfiche Snapshot as your printer from any program. It could be Google Chrome, it could be Word or QuickBooks or any of those types of applications right there. Boom. You can also find the settings under the Start menu. So if you navigate to Laserfiche, then go to Snapshot, you can set your current user or your shared printer configurations. Like I mentioned about generate pages, for documents that already are inside Laserfiche, just by right-clicking, you can say generate pages, and that will utilize the Snapshot engine to generate pages for you. So again, if it's a PDF that's not searchable and it's just sitting there, generate pages on it. It'll be searchable. So common use cases are that, first of all, we try to eliminate the whole printer business here. What we're trying to do is capture reports. Might be large mainframe reports, batches of invoices. I hear a lot of that. So people will print out batches of invoices to Laserfiche like we do at our company. Maps for universal access. So like I was talking about the large format maps and so forth. Website confirmations, and creating an archived record. So a lot of times people will say, well, I've got a Word document, but I want the final copy in there. So, well, put the final copy of the Word document. No, I want the unchangeable final copy in there. Okay, well, put security on. No, I want the one that can't be altered in any way, shape, or form. Okay, drop it down to a TIFF image, and now you've got essentially a Word document converted to an image file in Laserfiche and cannot be altered. So that's another way to do it. So when you take a look at the printer settings, and that would be accessed by choosing the print option and then just choosing printer settings from your favorite application like Word. There's a couple of things we can look at. So we've got paper size. You can adjust that so it's actually generating an image file with the proper dimensions. You can choose to make it a fax resolution. So if you are using like a fax server or something like that, you can choose to force it into a fax resolution. And you can also choose your graphic resolution below that. So this is a point that I see a lot of people talking about, questions, support issues. So changing the resolution, you can set it to a really super high resolution. If you see that down there, custom resolution max right here, 3000 by 3000. I mean, that'd be great if you're printing out a really, really super detailed map, but not for your day-to-day operation. You might want to choose 200 instead. So if you take a look, I'm just going to be going through the tabs up here, just showing you what's in the snapshot properties. Other thing you can choose right here is file format. So you could choose to snapshot this as JPEG, TIFF, TIFF Group 4, and a TIFF, I don't know how to say that, Lampelziv Welch. That's not any relation to me, but some sort of funky format. Is that the one that's the super high-res color, Mike?
Those are different compression models. Group 4 TIFF is black and white strictly, and you can do like where you see color, grayscale, and all of that. So if you choose the Group 4 TIFF, it will not do anything but black and white. So it offers you different options for the TIFF and still the compressed method. Okay.
So different, hopefully everybody heard that. So different options based upon your color, monochrome, grayscale choices, etc. All right. So we can also, you notice down here, TIFF settings. So if you do choose TIFF, you can make it the internet TIFF format, reverse bit order in TIFF, and add page numbering tag. So that's kind of handy. All right, image quality options. I have looked at this for years, and I know some of our customers have found specific needs within here that they, things that they know that they need in order to make certain snapshotted images look right. But I just wanted to show you, I've actually chosen here the different radio button for each one of these options, like the Floyd Steinberg, the Jarvis Judas Ninke, the Sharp, the Smooth, the Stucky, and the Threshold options. And honestly, the only one that I see any differences from is the Threshold, which obviously just turns it all black. So there's slight variances here, but I guess the point being it's very small differences, but it might make a big difference to your final image to you. And so you kind of have to play with these. Mike, do you have any suggestions on this? Are you running any special cases?
The one is the Floyd Steinberg. I think by default in the newer versions, that's what it's set to anyway.
Floyd Steinberg being the default. Okay, anything else? All right.
We rarely look at those.
What? Watermarks? Okay. Hello, you can add watermarks. What? Oh, watermarks, you can add watermarks in Snapshot. That's right. It's kind of a cool feature. So a lot of people don't even know this exists, but you can add, so you'll see here I'm under the watermark tab. I can add watermarks to the first page only, but I could also choose to add a unique watermark on the first page, something like confidential. If you distribute this, you will be fined $1 million. And then on the second page, it's like, copyright Cities Digital Inc., copyright Cities Digital Inc., something like that. So you could actually choose to have different watermarks applied to this, and you just print it right to Laserfiche from a Word file, and you've got these, custom watermarks all over it, or whatever program you're printing from. Choose where it's located on the page and the brightness. And there it is. There's just pointing that out. All right. You can also, like I say, if you go to the unique watermarks on the first page here, I just grabbed an image file from my computer, and I'm going to print a file using that image file as my watermark, as opposed to just straight old text. And that's what it looks like. So I took my headshot there from LinkedIn, popped it into my contract. I'm looking at you right there. You can see my eyes staring at you, telling you to sign this contract. That's right. Get it done. All right, now you might instead choose to have an embedded annotation. And this would be different than the watermark. This would allow you to have something on there like, in my case here, I put contract expires, and I'll put the date format in there. And you can see right here, oops, let me go back one. I have it here, preview annotation text. And I don't have any arrows on this one, but it'll show you there where I can put it on the bottom left-hand corner, so where I'm going to put that. I could also choose color, so if I was going to snapshot to a color image as opposed to black and white grayscale that I have right now, I could choose a color palette for it as well. So you'll see down here, way down here, I just had my contract expires annotation added right down here in the lower left-hand corner. And that's essentially what it looks like. Okay, now base numbering. Earlier we talked about appellate manager. If you work in the courts, and if you are an attorney or you work in the courts, base numbering might be handy. This is really where you put your case number, and you can sequence each and every single page, so you can reference specifically the doc number and the page number in a discovery situation. So if you do want to do base numbering, you can still use that in quick fields, and you can use it with the annotation module in quick fields, or you can use Snapshot, and you can just add it and then print to Laserfiche, and you'll be able to generate all of those base numbers on here. All right, default profiles. Now you might have a number of different profiles as far as how you want to print, all those different settings, all those different options. You might want to have a different profile for different types of documents that you're printing so that you can save all those settings. And here you can create your own specific profile. You can import and export as well. So you might say, well, I got this all set up for printing mainframe green bar reports to Laserfiche. I went through and I found the settings and it looks perfect. But now I got 3 or 4 more people in the office that might need to do the same thing. You can export out the profile and import it over there. So kind of handy that way. Printer redirect. It's another option on here where you would be able to say, I want to print this, but I also want to print it to Laserfiche as an image file, but I also still need to generate pages with it, like to the physical printer. Still need to do that. You can do it all in one pass by enabling redirect printing. So you'll be able to choose your specific printer you want to print to, and then you can also enable the log file, so you know what got printed and when. All right, so snapshot metadata. We've moved on now from the printer settings, which is under the start, programs, or the printer preferences. We've now moved to the snapshot metadata. So we begin to print something to Laserfiche. This would pop up on our screen unless we told it to never request information and just suppress it. But in this case, we're going to take a look at it. So a couple of things that are really important for us when we're sending this to Laserfiche is, what are we going to call it, where are we going to put it, and do we have any metadata assigned up, so any template fields. This will pop up for us. What you'll notice in there on the right-hand side is that I have the document name automatically populated right here, and this just came from Word. No big surprise there. It'll automatically put the title in. If you're printing from a web page, it's going to try to give you the web page name and pop it in there, just to be handy. So you can always update that and change it by using the tokens, which are right here. You can see that token, and it would pop open like this, giving you an option to use a token or a variable for your naming convention. So if it could be the user who's doing this, it could be the print job name, the date, time, session, a whole bunch of different options there for your naming convention. Again, a variable. Now you can save to the repository too, and you might want to have a standard folder you always print to. It might be, I'm always printing to my snapshot folder in Laserfiche, or I'm printing to Patrick's printing folder. Or it could be, every single time you print this, you want to print to a client's folder, so it's different every single time, and you're choosing a different client all the way down the list. You can also choose the volume. Not a lot of our users change volumes every single time they put a document in, and not every user even has the option to do that. But you could. You can choose different volumes to put things into from here, and you can choose to export to a directory. So you could actually snapshot it out and export a copy to the, your desktop if you need to, kind of like that printer redirect, kind of same concept. All right, then under the template fields, we have all of our different fields associated with our Laserfiche metadata templates. We can fill all that in, and we can have default information. So again, if you're printing the same kind of stuff again and again and again and again, you can have all that defaulted and preloaded so you don't have to go through and manually select all that. A couple more settings, tags and document creation. So you'd be able to choose specifically what tags you want assigned to those documents, because if you're a big tag user, you might need those. You can also choose what to do with the document handling, because you may not want to create just a new document. That's probably the most likely, but you may want to insert new pages before, after, etc. So you might already have a document in there named the same thing, and now you're printing in, you've got an appendage to that document. You can choose to insert when you print it, and Laserfiche will automatically handle that for you. Down at the bottom, you'll also have the option for a preview. So you can see, before you actually print it to Laserfiche, what is this going to look like? do I have the right image property settings on this so it's going to look good when it goes in the Laserfiche before I actually do it? You can launch the preview. Text and OCR, definitely something we've talked a lot about today, OCR, and making sure that our documents are OCR'd when they enter the system. Snapshot also has this option to either turn on the OCR or suppress it. And if you do use it, you'll notice you've got a couple options here as far as text spacing and adjust location information, but you can also choose to OCR in a lot of different languages. You have this option from the client, you have it from Snapshot, obviously it's just the OCR engine, but I don't know, I think it's up to something in the range of 30 different languages now. So if you do have any other, if you have any documents that are in Spanish or any documents that might be in French or something like that, or Tagalog, whatever, you'd be able to OCR all of those. You can also run an image enhancement on this. So to kind of think about this, if you're running a Word document in there, you probably don't have much image enhancement you need to do because it's basically the original image in electronic format. So there's not a lot of image enhancement. But what if you're getting a document like a PDF from somebody else and it's all skewed because they scanned it on their copier and it went through all cocked in there and it's not straight, and maybe there's a line through it and you want to run image enhancement on it by snapshotting it into Laserfiche, you can do that. So it'll go ahead and straighten it out, despeckle the image, rotate it for you automatically the right direction. It's kind of nice to know all these options are here. Next on the list is the user profile. So you would be able to set in Laserfiche your specific user profile. Because again, if you're printing a lot, this might really bug you every time you get this pop-up box. And instead you can set your user profile so that it's by default this server, this repository, use Windows authentication, let me in, just have at it, let me print this thing out. Then again, you may prefer to have different user profiles when you log in, and you can use the local machine profile if you want. All right, so setting the default configuration, just a little more detail on this. So we can assign it to the configured properties without prompting. So in other words, it's going to always default to that same setting, so I don't even see this box. I'm not even going to be dealing with it. It's just going to assume all of these properties I already have set up. Or it's going to prompt me for to configure the properties every time, either way. And when I fill out the metadata, I have all these fields as an option, so again, I can pre-populate what I want in the metadata every time it prints. I can go ahead and do the document handling from this window again, so just as a reminder, this is the pop-up configuration that we would be dealing with, creating a new folder or replacing an existing, and setting the OCR options. So hopefully you've seen quite a few different things you can do with Snapshot you probably didn't even know. Anybody have any questions about Snapshot? Mike, what are the biggest tech support questions you get from Snapshot?
Well, I mean, obviously that it's not working. They go in and attempt to use it and it doesn't function as expected. And typically we'll just reinstall or run a repair on the client itself. Since it's a printer driver, it's a little bit different than the installation for the client itself. So, right-clicking and running as administrator on the setup files or turning UAC off and then rerunning or repairing the installation will usually repair the printer driver in there and fix the issues that I normally see.
Okay. So run as administrator, turn off UAC if you're seeing some funky situations crop up from Snapshot. Okay.